This is Andy Obermueller with Street Authority, and today I'd like to discuss an emerging area of natural resources with you. Natural resources have been in the news a lot lately, not only with regard to the leaking oil well in the Gulf, but also because of a massive mineral find in Afghanistan, the value of which has been estimated by some to exceed $1 trillion. But all the gold and coal or lithium, nickel, or any other natural resource is worthless without water. There are two things that afford this little planet a shot at sustaining life. The first is Earth's fortunate 23.5-degree tilt, and the second is the presence of water. 366 million trillion gallons of it. That sounds like a lot. But really, it isn't, because 97% of that water is laden with heavy chemical salts that, if consumed in sufficient quantities, can fatally overwhelm the body, and pretty quickly. 2% of that water is locked up in snow and ice, and that leaves 1% for all of humanity to draw on. That's not very much. Some areas are, of course, more short of water than others. The entire Middle East, for example, subsides on 1% of the Earth's freshwater supply, so that's 1% of 1%. And every major water source in the Middle East crosses at least one international boundary. So not only are supplies scarce, but they must be viewed as precarious. Not only are they matters of health and wellness, they must also be looked at as strategic assets necessary to national security. The limited supplies affect everyone. In this country, California has been locked in a serious drought, and that state's responsible for 1/3 of the nation's agriculture. Other parts of the country, which once had relatively plentiful supplies, now find their aquifers brackish and undrinkable. All over the country, cities and towns are attempting to engineer the flow of water. On a global scale, 1.8 billion humans lack adequate supplies. Now there's a way out. In fact, we're surrounded by it. It's desalination of seawater, which is the term for removing the various chemical salts from seawater. It's not only like the salt you find on your table. These are other, like potassium-based salts that have to be removed for the water to be drinkable. Now, the preferred method of desalinating seawater is a process called reverse osmosis, whereby water is forced through special membranes at terrific pressure. Now, there's only one problem with this method. It's really energy intensive, and so that means it's very expensive. So enter a company called Energy Recovery. It's NASDAQ listed, symbol is ERII. Its special pressure exchanger equipment, when installed in a desalination plant, allows energy to be recycled back into the high pressure stream. It's really a pretty simple and elegant design, but Energy Recovery, which trades under the symbol ERII, holds the patent on it. Now, there isn't a major desalination plant in the world that doesn't use its technology, and there probably isn't an existing plant that's not considering retrofitting itself to take advantage of the huge cost savings that these pressure exchanger devices can deliver. And there's an endless supply of new desalination plants on the horizon as cities around the country and countries around the world scurry to secure water. As it stands today, Energy Recovery is saving its customers 750 megawatts of power, which is enough juice to power millions of homes in the developing world. Energy Recovery desalinates enough water every day for 25 million people. In the process of reaching that milestone, it has also grown its revenue 135% from 2006 to the end of 2009, and it appears to be on track for another revenue increase in 2010. That's a trend I expect to continue as more and more desalination plants go online. Now, there's one item in the company's books that I think is really encouraging, and that's the fact that it continues to invest in research and development. It's just always refining its product offering so as to remain the vendor of choice in the industry. This company has installed its equipment in scores of new projects, and it's retrofitted many others, and it keeps putting that knowledge back to work to maintain a leading industry position. And I just think that makes this a really smart, future-oriented company. And the fact is, energy recovery and its products are really a game-changing technology. They make it possible for the world to have enough free water. They took a process that was inefficient and was expensive, and they made it work better. They save money, they save energy, they even save lives in the process. So these are advancements that it has been lavish praise for in the industry, and I expect that to continue as well as it comes up with new products to save even more energy and clean even more water. Now, as this market continues to surge, and it inevitably will unless we can learn some other magic way to make clean water, energy recovery will continue to increase its revenue and earnings and grow the value of its business. Right now, the stock is extremely attractively priced given its growth potential, and I anticipate great strides and triple-digit gains for these shares going forward. I've started a new letter focused on these game-changing stocks and the gains that they can deliver to your portfolio. Even a modest allocation of these securities can move the needle on your net worth. And to help you learn how to harness the power of these game changers, I hope you'll join me for a webcast where I detail 4 of these companies. You can access this presentation immediately and for free at StreetAuthority.com. I'm Andy Obermueller, and I wish you many happy returns.